come-from-behind win last night. The long ball the difference, giving the Nats 13 wins this month. Tonight, Edwin Jackson is on the bump, looking to keep the Mets quiet. Next from Nationals Park. Here, 5 out of 7 at Nationals Park, and Edwin Jackson had a big part in it back on June 6. 7 innings, just 2 earned runs. He pitched around 4 walks. Adam LaRoche hit a 3-run homer for him early. And so now Edwin takes on the Mets. Lineups, first pitch, straight ahead. .com to learn more, and by AT&T, the nation's largest 4G network. AT&T, rethink possible. It's a gorgeous night Whether you're on the Potomac, the Anacostia, anywhere around the district, it is a beautiful evening. Kind of feels like early May right now. So visit Trane.com for an independent Trane comfort specialist dealer near you. It's hard to stop a Trane. 82 degrees, low humidity. Boy, have we been waiting for something like this. So here's the Mets lineup. They're hitting .256, 6th in the league, 7th in runs. Ruben Tejada has been nails on the road, a 16-game streak away from Citi Field. Overall, he sits safely in his last 6 games, 8 for 27. So Edwin Jackson faces the Mets tonight. He is 1-0 with a 5.29 in 3 career starts against him. But as we mentioned back in June, pitched pretty well.
He surely has, and he's been at times dominant. He has done very well against the right-handers with that slider that just puts you away. And the whole key we've talked about all year long is the first couple of innings, trying to get through those first 35, 40 pitches without giving up 3 or 4 runs. He's done that quite a few times this year, and when he gets through early, he settles down and gives you a good, strong 6-7 innings.
So here's the league's 3rd best defense, and it's brought to you by your D.C. area Mazda dealer. We believe if it's not worth driving, it's not worth building. What do you drive? So the Nats have Jason Worth in center. Bryce Harper is not starting against the left-hander Jonathan Neese tonight, so that gives Tyler Moore a start. Ian Desmond will probably be off tomorrow. 14-year veteran Marvin Hudson has the plate. Jordan Baker, crew chief Ted Barrett, and Brian Runge on the bases. So the Mets lead off with Ruben Tejada, who's batting .316. Had a double in 5 trips last night, and here we go with game 2. That's going to be a strike on the outside corner. We're underway at 7:07. And the Nats are trying to make it 11-3 against New York this year. Tejada 0 for 4 career against Edwin. That's a great off-speed pitch. Way out ahead, and the count's 0-2.
Dandy slider early, breaking it out early.
And we've noticed this, Ray, throughout the season. How many guys have you ever faced who had sliders that went straight down? It's a rather unusual breaking ball.
It is. Most sliders have a tendency to be more flat than to have a lot of depth in them.
So the Nats have now gotten on another one of their streaks. Winning 11 of the last 13. That bouncer to Desmond. Ian, very relaxed on the way in. Got through his first game back last night in fine fashion. So when the Nats score 6 runs or more, and you should have a good record when you score 6, but with this pitching staff, 33 out of 36. The Mets have had homers this month from 8 different players. Problem is only 1 each, lowest in baseball. And then the Nats, of course, have 3 guys who've hit 4 or more. So it's a power mismatch. And the hitter stepping in as if to accentuate our point, following a guy with 1 home run is Mike Baxter, who hasn't hit any. And Jackson gets a strike. So Baxter at 306. He's a 27-year-old outfielder. He's a Queens guy, born in the Whitestone area. And the Mets picked up their local guy on waivers from San Diego July 22nd of last year. So he's 8 for 21 during his 6-game streak, but that's not a streak that continues every day. And he'll rifle this ball to left center. Jason Worth unable to get there. Baxter's going to be digging for at least 3 here. Worth backed up by Tyler Moore. And it is a stand-up triple for Mike Baxter.
It looked from our angle up here, where we're about 7 stories above the field, that he was going to catch this ball, but it kept tailing away from him, and he jumped dove actually, and it looked like he actually dove a little late, Bob, as there's just no way he was going to get there. That ball's a good 3 feet away from him. Baxter doesn't run that well, but just one of those balls that wasn't hit that hard, but right in that gap, telling hard away from Jason in center.
Boy, this is a tough situation now facing David Wright. Nats defense conceding a run here in the first inning in exchange for an out, unless it's a one-hopper to Zimmerman or a comebacker with Desmond Espinosa and LaRoche all back. So David Wright for a 76th RBI just has to get something by the mound. This ball will be flared off to the right side. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Getting back to the pitch to Baxter, they wanted the ball elevated, and he did not get the ball up enough. He threw the ball just above belt. And, you know, you got 2 strikes on a guy, and the catcher wants it elevated. You've got to throw it somewhere around neck high to get him to chase that pitch. So one mistake by Jackson.
And the first inning this year for Edwin, it's been kind of a jumbo jet, you might say. His ERA is 7.77. In the first inning, he's given up 27 runs, 27 hits, 19 earned runs in just 22 innings. So once, as you mentioned, he gets by those first 2-3 dozen pitches, he's okay. That's a ball that cannot score the run. Zimmerman tried for a tag, and he still gets the play at first base. How about that? How many third basemen even try to lunge thinking they have time to make that throw?
Not many. He just has so much confidence as he knows right what he's going to do. He has every play in his mind already kind of printed out. That ball toward the line, he stays there. So much confidence in his arm and ability to throw strikes. Almost makes a play there. Throws that thing underhanded perfectly to first base once again.
Here's Ike Davis in a right-handed lefty matchup now. And the crowd, you can always tell when something interesting happens. You can hear the crowd buzzing after a play like that. This game will be close to a sellout tonight. A lot of folks still coming in. And Ike Davis will lift one to center. And how about that? That quickly, the top of the first inning is over. The Mets do not capitalize. And that is huge for Edwin Jackson and the Nats. Some of the fans will come in fashionably late, catch most of the ball game and all of the concert. See your authorized Dodge dealer. Experience a world of performance, design, and fuel efficiency. Schedule a test drive or go to Dodge.com and check out our powerful lineup. Danny Espinosa against lefties, doing a good job. 299 average overall since the All-Star break. Espinosa from the right side of the plate hitting at 305 on the season. And he'll be in the lineup behind Worth ahead of Zimmerman. The Nats take on Jonathan Neese, who's made 5 starts against Washington. Nats have never beaten him, but he's gotten 3 no decisions with a 2.93 ERA. And right-handers, Ray, he can make them a little uncomfortable with that cutter in on their hands. Just like that. Deep short, Ruben Tejada on a busted bat by Jason Worth.
Well, the cutter is his best pitch. He gets a lot of ground balls, doesn't throw very many sinkers. As we look at the Mets defense.
And the Mets are 12th defensively in the league. That may not impress you, but they have gone 7 consecutive games now without making an error. So they're 12th in pitching, 12th in defense. And Danny Espinosa will be next, but we'll see some right-handed batters, if Nice is on, get handcuffed tonight.
He can also give up some home runs. He's given up 17 home runs to right-handed hitters, only 2 to left-handed hitters. So if he gets that fastball out away from them, then they can do some damage. He throws a 12-6 curveball. He throws a cutter, which is his out pitch, and that's the pitch he gets ground balls on, as it not only cuts, but it goes down a little bit. And then he'll throw about 8 to 10 changeups a game, and his fastball, 90-92.
Danny Espinosa's 3 for 7 career against him. Danny didn't get a hit last night, but he did walk, so he has an on-base streak intact of 13 consecutive games. That's a hit that'll get him on. Valdespin was playing him to pull, so Espinosa will have to pull up. Normally that's a double in this ballpark, but Jordani Valdespin had him played in a what you call rank pull position.
He did, partner.
So it's a 1-out base hit with the big guns now coming up.
He was right there in left field, shedding toward the line. Danny jumping all over that little cutter and getting the head out. They know that he's going to throw the ball inside. Drilled past David Wright.
So here's Zimmerman. And Ryan had a nice night last night, elevating his June and August batting average to .350. He has a career RBI against Nice, and he's 4 for 11. Upstairs. Well, Ray, you don't have to wait too long for the left-hander to get off the stretch tonight. It took 4 innings last night. So let's see how this changes things for Jonathan Nice as we stay on that theme. Santana was in cruise mode until Jason Worth got that base hit in the 4th inning.
He certainly was making pitches down. His changeup was excellent. Nobody could square him up and get on him. And then when he went to the stretch, the ball moved up a little bit, couldn't get it inside. Tried to get in there and kept leaving it out over the plate. And we had 4 hitters in a row to respond with bullets.
That was a 2-0 breaking ball, it appeared. Either that or the cutter. It was upstairs. 89, that's got to be a cutter. And Ryan continues to handle New York pitching very well. Someday when he retires, and we hope it's a long, long time from now, there are going to be 3 or 4 cities in the National League East that throw in huge retirement parties. And the Mets are definitely going to be one of them. Ryan nearing that 150 home run mark. He's gone over the 500 RBI thing this year with 66 of them. Tied with David Wright for the 8th most runs in the league, scoring 72 times. Big man on deck with a 13-game hitting streak. Nice suddenly obsessed with Danny Espinosa, who's stolen 17 in 22 attempts this year. The Nats are 7th in the National League with 79 stolen bases. Josh Toley, by the way, the catcher, 26%, trying to get some help from his pitching staff, and that was a slide step and a very quick one, to say the least, but he misses.
I don't know that he stopped right there.
Yeah, that's why it seems so quick to me. And that, I don't know, Ray, that was real close to being called a balk. Three and 2 does Espinosa get turned loose with 1 out. Holding, Zimmerman base hit. Great stroke to the opposite field. Ryan Zimmerman is now 3 for his last 4 in this series. And 3 for 5 overall. And Michael Morse will bat with 2 men on base very early.
2 balls hit about as hard as you can hit them. Another cutter, and Zim decides to go the other way as opposed to pulling that ball. Same pitch that Danny pulled to left field, but Zim with 2 strikes, decides to shoot it the other way, hits it very crisply, and now the Nationals have some action going, buddy.
Yes,
early.
They do. Well, Michael Morse, 13-game streak, hitting .315 during that time. And he saw a pitch up. He was pumping.
And East hasn't thrown from the outside part of the plate yet. Everything's been middle in. Spoke to Ron Darling, former Mets pitcher and broadcaster now for the ball club, said that he throws more strikes than anybody on their ball club. He just comes right at you consistently.
That's the kind of guy hitters like to face. That is no swing, says Jordan Baker, the rookie umpires. Michael checks. So Morse suddenly, during his 13-game hitting streak, thanks to the grand slam last night, has 12 RBIs in those 13 games. You know, he's not getting a lot of hits, 2 or 3 every night during the streak, but it seems every hit he gets does damage in terms of bringing in runs. And now the count's in his favor, 2-1. Davey Johnson's ball club, 29 games over 500. Tonight could be quite a night if they could grab another one here. Morris, a long ball to right field, but he didn't get it. It's going to tail to the track. Espinosa will tag and go to third. Looked good off the bat, but it died, and the Nats have a corner situation with 2 outs. But he is hitting the ball with authority the other way. There's no question about that.
Didn't quite get to that ball as it pinched him a little bit. It's that cutter. It starts middle, gets to the inside part, and he ends up bringing his arms into his body. Could not quite get the extension, therefore the bat speed wasn't quite there. Looked like he hit the ball pretty solidly, but because he wasn't able to extend, he wasn't able to generate enough bat speed to hit it out of here.
It'll be up to Adam LaRoche now with 2 outs. Adam career against Jonathan Neese. Lefty-lefty, respectable at 3 for 12. 2 of them home runs and 6 RBIs. That ball will go outside, 2-0. Danny Espinosa with David Wright playing about 35 feet off the line at third base. Able to get way down the line. Now Neese does not throw a wicked breaking ball, but he's more likely to throw a breaking ball to a left-handed batter. So if he buries one, and that's a good play by Josh Tolley, and it gets away, Danny Espinosa would already be a third of the way home. Against a right-handed batter, not that big of a deal, but a lefty-lefty, you never know. Ian Desmond on deck. Would LaRoche have the green light here early? Espinosa just strolling down the line, and that ball's right on the corner. I love what Bo Porter said about last night's rally. He said, keep the line moving to go boom with the grand slam. Zimmerman will steal second base on strike 2. Mets choosing not to throw through. And for Ryan Zimmerman, his 5th steal of the year in 7 attempts.
You find a lot of teams nowadays early in the games will not throw through. That's not what teams did. In my day, they would always protect against the big inning, throw behind the runner, and try to throw that guy out. If you get in a rundown, then it's up to the second baseman or the shortstop to be able to stop that runner from going from third to home. But right there, they did not challenge him. And now a base hit plates 2 and puts you on the board big time.
And not as big of a shift on against a left-handed pitcher. There's a bouncing ball. This will be interesting. LaRoche trying to leg it out, and he is out by less than a step. That was close. The Nats get a couple of hits and a steal in strand 2. No score after 1. tonight. So some excitement, but no runs in the first inning. And the second frame presented by Luna. Call today for the Luna Double. Get your second room of flooring free at 877-241-LUNA. No score. Nats a couple of hits. Daniel Murphy, Jordany Valdespin, and Andres Torres for the Mets. Top of the second against Edwin Jackson. Well, the Braves now have announced who's pitching in this big 3-game series coming up. The Nats get Tim Hudson Monday, Paul Maholm Tuesday, Chris Medlin Wednesday. Hudson is 112, Maholm is 111, and you can be a winner on 2 for Tuesday, 2 for 1 hot dogs and soda. Drop by the website or give the Nats a call and grab your tickets for a scintillating 3-game series against the Braves, who are just underway, by the way, against the Dodgers, throwing Ben Sheets tonight against Aaron Harang, and the Braves just scored in the bottom of the first. They had a walk-off win in extra innings last night. To keep them 4 back of the Nats, Edwin faces Daniel Murphy. Jackson, by the way, 12 pitches that first inning. He put the lid on that inning in a hurry after the Mike Baxter triple, and getting David Wright, as always, huge. Looked like he went up and away. 2-1 with an off-speed pitch. And by the way, there's news out of Atlanta for another game. Brian McCann is not in the lineup. He's got what they're calling a frayed labrum in his right shoulder. That could be very troublesome, obviously, from a throwing standpoint, but also swinging the bat for power like that big man can do.
That would be a tremendous loss for that ball club. He's held that club together, and been their stabilizer over the last 4 years, really. Chipper, as he hasn't played as many games due to injury.
Great pitch down and away from the left-hander. So strikeout number 1 for Edwin Jackson. Your mission, our commitment. Visit agilitycorp.com. And the best ERA in baseball this month. Wow, the Rays are just unbelievable. And they've worked their way to within 6 games of the Yankees. The Royals, they've got a chance to be in 3rd place here soon over in the AL Central. And then, of course, the Nats. Reds won again today. First of a day-night doubleheader against the Cubs. Game 2's underway. So David Ross is catching again for Atlanta tonight. Martin Prado drove in Michael Bourne with that first inning run down there. Then here's Jordany Valdespin, who had 2 at-bats last night. He struck out and walked after coming in to play left field on a double switch.
Jackson right on top of the baseball. The pitch prior to that, his fastball, but it was a little cutter because his hand is on top of the baseball and allows him to finish that thing. So usually when that happens, you're going to have a good curveball or slider. Kind of like a sinker there or a changeup. Nice location, down, little movement toward the outside part of the plate. Good movement.
Yeah, 88, so that would be the sinker.
Oh, yeah.
And then he throws the rolling breaking ball in the dirt. Working with Jesus Flores tonight. Counts 2-2. From Flores to Torres, who's on deck. And Andres Torres is struggling. Valdespin, by the way, 0 for 1 career against Edwin. That'll be a 2-hopper. Nice letter high for Danny Espinosa. And now 4 consecutive retired by Jackson since that Mike Baxter triple.
Well, that's the only bad pitch he's thrown. Everything else has been down in the strike zone. He's changed his speeds. He's bounced his breaking ball, which is fine. You get the feel of that. He's just torquing a little too much. But his fastball has got some movement, like a cutter, 93, 94 miles an hour, and he's using both sides of the plate. So he's off to a really nice start.
Edwin pitched exactly 11 innings on the road trip, gave up 10 hits, 7 earned runs. But the Nats got him off the hook in that game at Arizona. He gave up 5 runs in 5 2/3. Offense came up big with some power, and the Nats won that game 6-5, and he got the decision. I like his work rate, working quickly. Edwin really slows things down when men get on base. And when he's off the windup, he is fast. And Andres Torres, who's 0 for his last 10, is 2 for 10 career against Jackson. Another off-speed pitch, man. He's pulling out the whole arsenal here early.
That has a lot of bite. That curveball has a lot of bite, or slider, whatever that is. It has a lot of bite. And hitters are not seeing the rotation because it's so tight. All he has to do is throw it on top of the plate. You're going to see a lot of those swings. That might have been a swing there. He checked it.
Yeah, FP has talked about that during the season. It's a slider that acts like a curveball that goes straight down.
Right. Well, you know, it's just a term. I mean, that's just a term. The slider, cutter, slurve, anything that went from 12 to 6 or 11 or 1 to 7, we always call curveballs. But if he wants to call it a slider, then it's a slider. I'm not going to argue with that.
Yeah, we're good with that. 2-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. So using the off-speed stuff, he throws the heater, and he's got some swing and miss stuff to go with it. 5 in a row for Jackson. He's off to a good start. That's great news for the Nats. Up bottom of the second. No score. Masson's social media weekend, styled by Hair Cuttery, is underway. You can win seat upgrades, autograph gear, meet and greets, free haircuts, and more. Details posted on the Masson Nationals Facebook page. Go back to school with a great new haircut. Visit Hair Cuttery this weekend. Ian Desmond, 3 fly balls and a strikeout last night. One of those fly balls was a line drive to right, so he went 0 for 4 in his return. Was flawless in the field, had 1 bobble, but he recovered, threw out a runner. Came through it okay. Davey Johnson says he'll probably give Ian tomorrow off and get Lombardozzi in the lineup. Just doesn't want to overwork Desmond right from the get-go here. That's a breaking ball that catches the outside corner. 0-2.
And you don't want to get Lombardozzi too far away from having that timing. He's been hitting the ball exceptionally well. What a great job that kid's done. Yep.
You have a 5th infielder who's hitting 280, makes contact about 85% of the time, can play anywhere, and he's a rookie.
He's been an impact player. I mean, a guy that has been able to start the offense, jump start it early, get on base, big base hits late in ball games, being able to play second base exceptionally well, showing range, ability to throw, to turn to double play.
Well, his dad was a good solid player, and so is Steve. Not going to hit for that much power, but he'll drive in some runs. 2-2 to Desmond. That's going to punch him out on the inside corner. Jonathan Neese, first strikeout. And you don't have to swing and get sawed off for that cutter to be effective. Here's the Nissan pitch track.
Right at the bottom of the strike zone, right on the inside part of the plate. A long way from your eyes. It seems like it's a ball because it's way down there at the bottom of the strike zone, plus it's close to you. One thing that you have to relearn when you've been out as long as Desi is the strike zone. I know that may sound funny because you've been playing your whole life, but it can jump around on you a little bit.
So Tyler Moore gets a start tonight with Bryce Harper off against the lefty. Bryce Harper, by the way, 1 for 3 against Jonathan Neese. Tyler Moore as well. And Tyler's hit against him is a home run. So he gets him way out ahead with that. Counts 1-2.
I think the whole league knows that Tyler's a fastball hitter, and Neese throws his 2 softest pitches of the night, 276-mile-an-hour curveballs. Then he goes inside with that cutter, 93. That's a big difference. It's about 3 feet to a hitter.
A ball and 2 strikes. Tyler at 281, but he's still hitting over 300 since his return to the ball club June 7th. That ball's up the middle on a hop. Ruben Tejada, plenty of time to set for the throw. And now 4 straight for Moore, or rather for Neese, getting more since the Ryan Zimmerman base hit. So both pitchers have gathered themselves here. And with 2 outs, it'll be Jesus Flores, who's hitting .219, and he's 0 for 4 career against Jonathan Neese. Flores goes up swinging sharply to short. Ruben Tejada launches a throw, but Ike Davis pulls it in. So 5 straight for both pitchers after a few early struggles. On to the 3rd, no score. August 18th. No score. PNC Bank, for the Achiever in You solutions that help you achieve your financial goals. Now, Jason Martinson's 23 years of age, still toiling away at high A, but boy, what a season. 100 runs, more than 100 RBIs, and we've been told he's the only player in all of minor league baseball to reach the century mark in both of that categories.
Man, that's some serious numbers right there. You know, these guys play about 135 games down there, and that's in 121 games. He scored 100, 102 RBIs. And that's some serious numbers right there. Power, speed, obviously getting on base a whole lot to score 100 runs and driving in that many.
So congrats to him. Out of Hurst, Texas, a suburb of Dallas-Fort Worth, and he went to Texas State. Josh Tolley, the left-handed hitting catcher, Jonathan Neese and Ruben Tejada against Edwin Jackson, top of the third. Edwin's thrown just 28 pitches in 2 innings.
He's pounding the strike zone, everything down but one pitch.
There's that 94 cutting in on the left-hander.
Every fastball he's thrown has had a cut on it tonight, Bob.
Hanley Ramirez and James Loney have homered in the top of the second against Ben Sheets. Dodgers have taken a 2-1 lead in Atlanta. Oh my. Let's talk 3-1. We'll find out if these are back-to-back-to-back, but Luis Cruz just hit one. So bombs away for the Dodgers down in Georgia tonight. 0-2 pitch. Down in the dirt. That's a swing and a miss, not a tip. And Flores makes the tag. Third strikeout in the last 4 batters for Edwin Jackson.
He's featuring some great stuff tonight now. I'm telling you, folks, this breaking ball right there is disappearing. Hitters are not seeing it. You see too many check swings already. Josh Thole does not swing at bad balls. He doesn't strike out much. So tonight he's not only throwing 94, but with tremendous deception and location.
Jonathan Neese can handle the bat. He has 8 hits, 2 RBIs this year. He's a 148 career hitter. Some call him Jonathan, some call him John. We will call him out. 2 down.
I'm with you, partner.
So first time through the order, Ray, 1 for 9. Jackson doing the job, and you can place a deposit on a full season ticket plan for next year right now and receive 2012 postseason ticket purchase priority. Nationals.com/2013 or 202-675-NATS. Check it out. The way this ball club is going, looking for win number 75 tonight. And a chance to get to that 30 games over 500 mark.
What a great job that man has done keeping this ball club together. And I don't mean together because of any problems with their ability to get along. I'm talking about how he's been able to mix and match and move people around. And, you know, just think, he put Lombardozzi in the top of the lineup. He put Harper in there in the 2-hole. He's been able to just make a lot of changes and adjustments when guys have gone down without skipping a beat. Manager of the year. I don't know how he can't be manager of the year the way that he's brought this club along ever since he took over from Jim Riggleman. Just go back to last year, and he did a fantastic job carrying on what Riggleman actually had turned around. The club had started playing very good baseball when Davey took over.
And 0-2 now to Ruben Tejada. And those home runs in Atlanta, Ramirez, Loney, and Cruz were back-to-back-to-back. So after an inning and a half, the Dodgers lead the Braves 3-1. Tejada bounced out to Desmond to start the game. I like this. Third inning, our fans are clapping for outs. They're into the game early. And they are still coming down Half Street in droves, but we've noticed that about these Saturday night concert crowds.
Where are they going to sit?
Well, there are some upper reaches still. We can see blue seats.
That's a great thing about this park too. You have so much room to stand, and accessibility to viewing the field is second to none in this league.
Out to short. Desmond chose to backhand it. Maybe he felt he had to with Tejada's speed. See how they score it. That would have had to been a flawless pickup. It'll be Ian Desmond's 13th error of the year.
I don't think he had to backhand the ball. He felt comfortable backhanding the ball, but a ball that has that much overspin hit that hard, you know, actually you just go ahead and take another step, get in front of it. He's got plenty of arm to throw any runner out on a ball that's hit that hard, but, you know, that shows the confidence. I like a guy to backhand a ball. You know, Davey Concepcion did it all the time. Cal Ripken may have been the best that I played with, but it's only something that when you really outstretch to that right foot, that you have to do it. That ball had a lot of overspin. Very tough play to backhand.
No balls and one strike to Mike Baxter, who tripled to the left center gap first time. They want to jam him here. He doesn't have a home run this year, so you can challenge him and jam him on that pitch. Tejada, who really does not steal bases as a leadoff guy, took a couple of steps towards second base. He has stolen one base in 3 attempts in 75 games this year. So the Mets have a leadoff guy who can hit. He just doesn't run. That's a great fastball. 94, painting the outside corner.
As a team, the Mets just have chosen not to run. And you're right, buddy. Fastball moving away.
And only the Pirates have fewer steals than the Mets. Mets 58, Pittsburgh going into their game at St. Louis today 55. And Edwin now a pitch away from being out of the inning.
And that's an unnecessary throw to me. You've got 2 outs. You have 2 strikes on the hitter. You don't want to even worry about that guy over there now. I mean, there's times when you do, but with 2 strikes on the hitter, you've got to have 100% of your focus on the pitch.
And he's made 2 throwing errors on pickoff plays this year.
Yeah, I don't like this. I mean, you shouldn't even worry about that guy over there. He's not the guy that's going to hurt you. The guy swinging the bat's going to hurt you.
And you don't want to lose your concentration here and lose this hitter because David Wright's on deck. You know, you do the math every time you come around the top of the order against the Mets.
Yeah, absolutely.
You do the math on when David Wright's coming up and who might be on when he does. Swing and a miss on a breaking ball of beauty. So Edwin Jackson, not always a strikeout guy, has 4 Ks in 3 innings. He will lead off the bottom of the 3rd in a scoreless game. Introducing internet twice as fast as anything America has ever seen. By Cholula Hot Sauce, the flavorful hot sauce with the iconic wooden cap. And by Mercedes-Benz, located on the web at MBUSA.com. Harper and Strasburg, never seen him with that look. All kind of fun stuff going on here at the ballpark. Team store, kiosks. And bottom of the 3rd with a good hitting pitcher, Edwin Jackson. He's 8 for 40 this year. 1 ball, 1 strike. They got handcuffed by that one. Braves did not score, bottom of the 2nd. Dodgers will bat in a moment, leading 3-1. No score here in Washington. 2 ball clubs, 4 games apart. Jason Worth. And then Danny Espinosa follow Jackson here in the 3rd. Big breaking ball. Strikeout number 2 from Jonathan Neese. So the top of the order now. Worth bounced out to short first time. And you might remember that Nice just sawed his bat in two with a hard cutter. Jonathan Nice, 31 and 29 career, making his 88th career start, 25 years of age. He's been around for a while in the Mets organization. He was out of high school, 7th rounder back in 05. He's had some right side problems a couple of times on the DL with his hamstring intercostal strain on that right side last year. It was right about this time last year when they shut him down. But he has a chance for double-digit wins again. 11-11 last year, 9-6 this year. And then Worth manages to foul tip it on 0-2. Jason coming into this game a remarkable comeback off the DL. 19 for 46, 413 batting average. A couple of runs last night. So on top of the hits, 9 walks, 9 runs scored. And Davey Johnson said today he's the tallest leadoff man he's ever had. And Worth, of course, is a big power hitter, but he sort of has a leadoff hitter's mentality, the way he works counts and takes pitches. That's a pretty good 0-2 pitch.
Well, he has a great eye, a really good idea of what he's doing at the plate. Generally gets a good ball to hit. He can pull anybody's fastball when he's thinking that way.
And it's a breaking ball that he pulled, and David Wright goes backhand. So 7 straight now for Jonathan Nice with Espinosa coming up. Discover Kia's full lineup of high-quality, stylish, and dependable vehicles. To learn more, visit kia.com. And against left-handed starters, well, the Nats a steady progression. 30% 3 years ago. A little better in 10. Over 500 last year. And Ray now way over 500.
Well, you add Michael Morris to that lineup, Worth to the lineup. In those 2 right-handed bats, you see the emergence of Desmond hammering left-handed pitching, along with Zimmerman, who's always hit left-handed pitching, and this kid who has hit left-handers extremely well. Then you start to rack up some victories. Adam
LaRoche very good against lefties when he's going well.
Moore
from that side of the plate.
Add Tyler Moore to that.
Yeah. So Danny Espinosa now from the right side hitting about 308 with his base hit tonight. He took the big swing there. So some guys will say that's one for the team, or that's one for me. Now the next one for the team, trying to make contact with 2 strikes. Well, he was trying to make it 1-0 right there.
Yeah, I believe he was.
Target away. And that is a weak swing as Nice made him look bad.
Hard slider, that thing, or cutter, just.
Jonathan Nice matching up with Edwin Jackson beautifully through the first 3 onto the middle innings. No score. you to visit AFCEA.org. It's the association for IT pros. And with our sideline report, here's Christina. Are you enjoying the nice weather down there tonight?
It's just beautiful down here tonight. It's great, a change of pace from the heat. But Bryce Harper not in the lineup tonight. Davey Johnson said he really wanted to give Tyler Moore more ABs, especially against a left-handed pitcher. And he keeps reiterating, it takes all 25 guys to win. You can't win with just 8. Like you mentioned, you might see Steve Lombardozzi in tomorrow with Ian Desmond getting a break. And he said, you know what, it's a good place to be. All good teams need to be in that place. Everybody's contributed. Not going to just forget about the guys that had a pretty defined role until we got healthy. We're in a great place, and this week the skipper has talked about how the team's built confidence and character from getting through adversity with so many injuries, and all the young guys have played such a big part in that. Davey said it's been the best of both worlds for the organization. We've developed guys we're high on, and they've established that they belong.
Well said by the manager and the reporter. And top of the fourth is underway with David Wright. And Ray, you've been on championship teams, and you've been on some teams that haven't won championships. Wherever you are in the standings, sometime during the season, every single guy is going to contribute something.
Well, when you have a group that is this solid and a bunch of ball players that understand how to win and make contributions unselfishly, whenever Davey puts them in the lineup, they're ready to go. And you never hear them complain. They're willing to do whatever he asks.
And that is the swing. 2-2 to David Wright.
And the result of that is a cohesiveness and an attitude that, hey, we can beat anybody, and that guy sitting right there is just as important as anybody else on the ball club. And you see this. There's no hierarchy in this organization or this ball club. Everybody's treated the same.
Edwin Jackson has some kind of breaking ball going tonight. David Wright unable to reach it. And if you can pitch that guy away and he can't reach it, that's one of the best in the business.
Well, his slider is as good as there is in this game. And when he's throwing it right, he throws it right at the top of the kneecaps and it works down. And hitters just can't do anything with it. It's just got so much depth. It's quick, it's deceptive, and it's hard.
And it may not end up a strike, but it sure looks like one for a while, doesn't it?
It does. And, you know, the key to striking a lot of people out are making people swing at balls that appear to be strikes and working the ball out of the strike zone, whether it's a cutter in on the hands that starts maybe 2 or 3 inches on the plate and works right to the belt buckle, or whether it's a changeup that with the deception and killing the ball. And this guy tonight has it all working. You know, every time he goes out there, he's capable of pitching a low-hit, low-run game.
He's retired 9 of the last 10 batters. That's a perfect side door breaking ball that Ike Davis could only watch, and now he's in the hole 0-2.
Well, he feels real good about himself right now because he has not only the feel for the pitches that he's throwing soft, he's able to locate the fastball where he wants it.
And then he'll just show him one low and away.
Got a little head of that sinker there. But he's thinking, bury the ball right on the top of the plate. Don't get it up. So he's just trying to make a good pitch, and it went down. Same way right there.
Yeah, that one bounced. Says that's my bad.
Nice little block here. Nobody on base, but you got to get in a habit of doing that all the time. Squaring that body up, having a little bit of lean forward with the body, breaking at the waist so that the ball works itself straight down toward the ground and doesn't carry him off at some angle.
Slowed down his bat. You saw that block by Flores. Maybe Jesus heals up a bit now with Kurt Suzuki sharing the catching duties, but I saw something in the clubhouse today that overjoyed me, Ray.
What was that, buddy?
That was Wilson Ramos walking around the clubhouse, and he was walking normally. I didn't see a limp. He looked great, and that's as excited as you can be about watching a young man simply walk around. So all of our best to Wilson Ramos. We think about him often and can't wait to see him getting back to action next year, but he just had his sneakers and some socks on, walking around the clubhouse and looking normal with that gait, and that is the best news of all.
That's great to hear.
3-2 pitch and another funny swing. Ike Davis walking out of there slowly as if to say, what am I seeing here? What you're seeing is strikeouts 3 in a row.
Well, he's thinking dead red, thinking fastball after the sinkers. He goes with the slider down, and he just swings at it. And that ball, not even close. And sometimes you ask, as a hitting coach, what in the heck is he thinking? And that would be what I would be asking Ike Davis right now. What are you thinking, son? You've got to get the ball up. But after throwing a lot of balls in the bottom of the strike zone, Bob, and it's almost that muscle memory. You keep seeing it down there, and then you look down there, and then you chase something bad.
It kind of looked like Ike Davis was asking himself that question.
He was. Believe me.
He was thinking about it.
I've mumbled that a few hundred times in my career.
What are you doing?
What are you thinking, boy? Come on.
Daniel Murphy, who struck out first time, takes the first 2. And by the way, the last 8 men that Edwin has retired, 6 of them on strikes, starting with Murphy 9 hitters ago. Just the error by Desmond in there to ruin that consecutive hitter streak, but Edwin pitched around that, and that was no problem back in the 3rd.
Well, that's how good he feels there. 2-0, throws him a little cutter. Daniel, a little aggressive, can't pick the rotation up, swings at a ball that would have been ball 3.
Going to get the inside corner with that one.
And then drills that 94-mile-an-hour fastball right through there at the bottom part of the strike zone. Watch this pitch. Right there on the inside quadrant, down. Not a whole lot you can do about it. Now, left-handers have a tendency to be able to hit that pitch, but not after seeing a cutter and swinging at a bad ball.
And a 2-2 fouled away weakly. By the way, get to Nissan's summer savings event. They brought us the pitch track a moment ago. It ends September 4th, so visit ChooseNissan.com or your local Nissan dealer. 2-2 to Daniel Murphy, top of the 4th, bases empty, 2 down. So the fastball's topped out at 94. That was 90.
Well, the only pitch that he's had trouble with, if he's had trouble at all, has been that sinker 88 to 90 that he's throwing to the bottom part of the strike zone. And I'm not calling it, I mean, it's not for a strike, but he hasn't made a mistake with it. It keeps bouncing on top of the plate.
Edwin has not fared well against the National League East over the years. He's 2-9 against this division. 1-5 this year. So if he could knock off the Mets, get the Nats a W here, that's huge. He's going to be seeing a lot of this division down the stretch, of course. And a bouncer beyond his reach, but right to Danny Espinosa. So Edwin Jackson right now is having one of the best games of his season as a Washington National. Teddy's way ahead of Abe. Is he about to win his first race of this year and ever? Abe wondering where the other two presidents are.
Whoa.
And it is head to head as the father of our country takes down the Rough Rider. That is Bush League, bro.
That is weak.
Wow. We've seen Teddy disqualified for similar things in the past, but Abe gets the nod. That is some muckraking right there.
There must be some issues we don't know about going on with those two guys.
Well, George asserting his age, evidently, and his seniority. He was first, after all.
Yes, he was.
Ryan Zimmerman, opposite field single first time and a stolen base after that. And that's at second and third, 2 outs, but Adam LaRoche grounded out. Back in the first. Jonathan Neese gets one low in the zone. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Zimmerman, 5 out of 12 against him. Stayed on the ball beautifully first time up tonight. Will he jam him? Yes, he will. Missing inside. 2-2. Ike Davis way off the line at first because of Zimmerman's ability to go that way. Big man waiting. And then Adam LaRoche.
In with the cutter, away with the fastball, running fastball. Hasn't thrown many curveballs. He's going to go, wants to go inside. No, he's going to go back away.
Good take by Zimmerman. Neese took a step or two off the mound.
He wanted that pitch.
Yeah, he was waiting for the ball to be thrown around the horn right there, and it didn't happen.
But he tried to go back door with the cutter, and it went around the plate.
Ooh, pitch up, and Ryan was ripping.
That's a good ball to hit. That's a ball you need to put in play right there. You're always going to get, generally, you're going to get one good ball to hit each at bat, no matter who's on the mound. That was it. That was a fastball, knee high down the middle, and he fouled it off. That's a little tougher pitch. Inside, off the plate about a ball, just spoiling it to get to a better pitch. Jonathan Neese has not walked a guy in the last 28 innings that he's pitched.
125 strikeouts this year, 38 walks, and he keeps the ball away from Zimmerman. Ryan asked him if it was a strike. He got some kind of answer from Marvin Hudson. 4 Ks on the night. And inside the numbers, guys who hit 40 homers total and averaged better than 300 since the beginning of last year. It's not a long list. You got an MVP on that list. In fact, a couple of them, Votto and Braun, the last couple of years. And guys who do lots of damage. Discover Kia's full lineup of high-quality, stylish, and dependable vehicles. To learn more, visit kia.com.
What's on that list were the absolute best hitters in the game. I mean, there's no question about it.
Michael, 12 homers, 44 RBIs this year after that explosion last night. Byron Kerr and Phil Wood were not there yet, but during batting practice, Michael Morse missed their booth by about 5 rows. And you've been out there, you know what a poke that is.
That's a long haul.
And batting practice doesn't usually tell you much about what's going to happen during the game, but sometimes you see a guy and he's just so locked in. Michael hit the ball well to right field first time with 2 men on, but it fell short of the track out there. Lefty LaRoche is next. Bottom of the 4th, no hits since the first inning for either team. That's a perfect breaking ball that drops to the outside corner. And Jonathan Neese has struck out 3 in a row now. Let's have a look at our Home Depot doing more on defense.
Well, you have a runner on third base. Zim makes the play, comes up, forces him back to the bag, throws out right, and then they do the same thing, second, third. Little change up off the end of the bat. LaRoche retired. So cleaning it up.
Yeah, that was a big shift on, and if they don't throw out Adam LaRoche right there, Espinosa scores. That ball drilled by LaRoche out to left center. Misplayed by Jordani Valdespin. Adam LaRoche chugging into second base, standing up. It looked like the tailing action on that ball off the bat of a left-hander fooled the left fielder.
I don't think he saw it off the bat. I really don't, because it looked like to me he turned around immediately trying to find the ball. We're going to see right here. First ball, fastball hitting out away. Valdespin, the first thing that you're going to see is that he turns inside and starts to run towards center field. And once he started running towards center field, as you said, Bob, you're exactly right. The ball moving back toward the foul line fooled him, and he misjudged it.
They
nice
give Adam,
going, partner.
They give Adam LaRoche a double. And so here's Ian Desmond. We don't care about the fact that he's 0 for 5 last night and tonight. Right now, he can get right back into the team swing of things. This guy's been out for a month and he had 53 RBIs.
Well, one thing Jonathan Neese is he's not wasting any pitches. He's coming right at you with pitches that are strikes or near the strike zone. Now, he's throwing 4 different pitches, so that makes it a little tougher. But it's not like you have to go up there and think, you know, I really have to be patient here because this guy isn't throwing strikes. He's pounding the strike zone.
Guess when he was born? The night you and your Mets won the World Series in '86.
No way.
From Defiance High School. Yep, that's his birthday.
For real?
Yep. The Mets media guide is as big as the Bible. I'm going to believe that if I read it. And that's a bouncing ball out to short, handled by Ruben Tejada. 3 stranded by the Nats in a scoreless game. .com. Game summary through 4. Nats have beaten the Mets 10 of 13 and 5 out of 7 on this field. And then it's the matchup between Jonathan Neese and Edwin Jackson, both nearly flawless so far.
Couldn't be any tighter than that or matching up any better, as Jax has thrown a lot of good breaking balls, everything at the bottom of the strike zone. The only pitch that he threw up ended up being a triple to Baxter, but getting these guys to chase the ball down. Great torque on his breaking ball, great location on his breaking ball, starting that thing right about knee high and going right to the top of the plate, fooling 6 guys so far as he's punched out 6 men all swinging.
Neese 5 And each pitcher has retired 11 of the last 12 hitters he has faced. Pretty good distribution. Only one ball into the outfield. That was the Ike Davis routine fly ball to Jason Worth, ending the top of the first. Jordani Valdespin, top 5. Bounced to Espinosa first time. And a 1-1 pitch to the Dominican Republic native. That is severe. No, it's pretty good damage because it went out of play. It's got to be severe. To get an out, it's severe.
How many different damages are there?
I don't
decided yet?
I don't know. Well, I go with 1 or 2, but some folks online have taken it to 8 or 9. I think there's a top 10 somewhere. And here's the 1-2 pitch. That's on 2 hops to Adam LaRoche. 12 out of 13 for Edwin Jackson. 7-7 for the Nats. He makes his 23rd start. AT&T fact of the game. So he struck out 100 hitters or more. And with the Nats, he has 116 with 5 different ball clubs.
Well, he can definitely punch you out. And I don't know why he hasn't settled in with one ball club and stayed there. He's moved around way too much for a guy that has his kind of stuff. And certainly it isn't about attitude or him being a problem, because there could not be a nicer human being than Edwin Jackson.
It's like Tampa Bay, Detroit, Arizona, White Sox, and now the Nats. Yeah, he's one of those guys. Of course, nobody's like Gio, who pitches tomorrow. I mean, we could go up to him at 1:45 tomorrow and have a nice chat. But Edwin's a very relaxed guy on the day he's pitching. 1 ball, 1 strike. Swinging a foul tip off the bat of Andres Torres, who struck out swinging first time up.
Just want to bring up something that might be a sore subject for a lot of people, but Steven Strasburg, you know, is going to be shut down at some point. Jackson last year with the Cardinals, I was able to talk to a couple of Cardinal scouts. Oh man, it was 2 or 3 homestands ago, and Edwin pitched, and one of the scouts told me that there was no way that the Cardinals would have made it into the playoffs, much less be the world champion, without him pitching. That he shut the other teams down, that he was the best pitcher on that staff. So you know that he has already pitched in playoff type pressure, and he's been very successful doing it.
5-2 and 12 starts there last year. Swing and a miss on a pitch down and away. Strikeout number 7. And what you heard from the scouts, Ray, is the same thing that Tony La Russa himself told FP and I up here in the booth when he was here in May.
Well,
he said, we don't win without this guy.
He is, you know, he has the capability of being a guy that, as we said earlier in the game, that gives up just low hits because of the fact that he has a great fastball, has a great slider.
Boy, those are the sweet ones right there. Josh Thole hitting in front of the pitcher. Edwin Jackson, 14 of the last 15 retired. At the ballpark. It's kind of an old-fashioned game in this era when starters usually don't go that deep. These two have a chance to go a long way tonight. Low hits, no runs. Sunday, Foundation Day, presented by Waste Management. And before the ball game and a ceremony, you can learn about the community projects the Nationals Dream Foundation is involved in D.C. and surrounding areas. Go to nationals.com/tickets to check it out. Celebrating the work of the Dream Foundation. Jonathan Neese, 63 pitches, 43 strikes. He's retired 11 of 12. Edwin Jackson just had a 10-pitch fifth inning. So, Jonathan, can you match Edwin? Tyler Moore is first up. It's a breaking ball way in on his hands. Couldn't keep it fair. In Atlanta, Dodgers are batting top of the fifth, still leading 3-1. Way inside. Jonathan Neese makes his 6th career start against the Nats, who've never beaten him. 2-0 with a 2.93 ERA, so 3 no decisions. But he's always pitched well against Washington. Got a no decision and a 5-4 loss here, July 17th. The Nats got 1 run on him and 3 hits in 7 innings. So this is nothing new for him. That night he struck out 8 and walked nobody. He's gone 7 innings 11 times this year. He only threw 89 pitches that night. He jams Tyler Moore on a fly ball to short center for Andres Torres.
And that was a ball. That ball was inside. He actually got him to chase that cutter, and the ball's good 4 or 5 inches in off the plate.
So just a reminder now, as you enjoy a cold one, to look forward to Miller Time. Later in the game, it is brought to you by Miller Lite. So the Mets were here exactly a month ago. Jonathan Neese is still doing pretty much the same thing that he did on Tuesday night, the 17th, when the Nats eventually won that game 5-4 in the bottom of the 10th. On a walk-off ground ball by Adam LaRoche.
So he's getting in and throwing it. He is working extremely fast.
Ray, this is like taking a step back in time watching these two guys pitch tonight. That ball's going to fall into center field, and Jesus Flores gets the Nats their 4th hit of the night. And that's big in a ball game like this because you can bunt your pitcher. As Edwin, you know what? I wonder if he just went for his bunting bat. As soon as that ball fell into center field, he walked from the on-deck circle back to the dugout to get a different bat, and there's the swing on a Toshiba Exmo. You got to pitch up and hit it well. Do pitchers have different bats for swinging away or bunting?
Well, I'm sure some of them do.
We'll see.
But he's going to be bunting right here. You can bet on that.
You know, Edwin only has 4 sacrifices all year. How about 5? That's pretty good. 1-4, and Jason Worth will have a chance to put the Nats on top. We know Edwin likes to swing the bat, but that was perfect.
Well, there's a time to swing the bat and a time to bunt, and right here you're the pitcher of record. You make a good soft bunt. Neese decides not to go to second on a runner that doesn't run that well, but he killed the ball enough at the plate. Great jump by Flores. Now he has to get the same jump off of second base with 2 outs. Has to get a good primary lead, working that into a secondary lead, and scoring with 2 outs right here is pretty much a must. So
yep. And it's interesting because, as you mentioned, you do have a catcher running. Haven't seen that much defensively from Valdespin in left or Baxter in right, but we know that Andres Torres can go get him. He's a guy who will charge the ball hard and has a pretty good arm.
Well, let's just see how big a lead he gets. Second baseman's gone. Shortstop's gone. Nobody is holding him on. He can get as much as he wants, and he's not getting enough. He has to get another 8-10 feet off of that bag. There's nobody challenging, so Bo Porter needs to be saying, "You're all right, you're all right, you're all right," and getting him more and more room there, because he's not going to score if he's that close to the bag. He's got to get a lot more lead than that.
Up and in again to Jason Worth, 2-1.
That's not even close to enough lead.
Yeah, these are the kind of things that happen before a pitch that can decide in a 0-0 game whether or not you take the lead with a base hit.
Well, somebody from our dugout, first base coach, somebody has to notice right here, this could be the ball game. No question about it. Davey is always on top of this stuff, but once you have the second baseman on the grass and the shortstop vacating in the hole, there's no pressure. I mean, nobody's going to pick you off. So get on off of the bag. He needs to be right in this area, right there, somewhere out in that far, because he can't score from right there. On a ball hit hard, there's no way.
And then time requested by Worth and given by Marvin Hudson. Nats have out-hit the Mets 4-1. It's a scoreless game, bottom of the fifth.
See, that aggravates me right there. I mean, just as a player, as a coach, he's getting a pretty decent secondary lead, but not nearly enough.
Not going to matter as Murphy puts that one away. So the Nationals have stranded all four of their base hit guys tonight, and this one into the sixth. No score. It's a dandy. Honor our wounded warriors at the ballpark every night. At DynCorp International, we serve today for a better tomorrow. Drop by MASNsports.com for commentaries and blogs from our MASN panel of baseball observers. And, of course, live action right here on MASN HD. And we've got some kind of pitching matchup going on tonight. Sixth inning, no score. Edwin Jackson, 72 pitches, 48 strikes. He's retired 14 of the last 15. So the only entry in the Mets box score tonight, a Mike Baxter one-out triple in the first. Edwin grounded out David Wright, flied out Ike Davis, and the Mets have not threatened since. Jonathan Neese, the hitter, top six. These guys matching each other almost pitch per pitch. Edwin's retired 14 of 15. Neese 14 of the last 16. Jonathan Neese grounded out to Danny Espinosa, second base, first time. Seemingly, Ray, able to throw a ball to the corner anytime he needs to tonight. I mean, not just strikes, but quality strikes.
You know, oftentimes we say this is the best that we've seen a guy throw. You know, and that's saying a lot, because there's been a lot of games that these guys have thrown well, but he has not located better than this. He's been able to do just as you said, Bob, throw the ball to the corner, get the breaking ball over when he seemingly at will.
That's close to the corner.
That's a good spot right there. He actually got that call a little earlier for 2 strikes on Murphy and his first at bat in the 2nd inning.
He's going to get the call. They don't need to appeal. Strikeout number 8 for Edwin Jackson.
Well, he decides he's going to throw the fastball after missing with the breaking ball, and they call him out. I don't know that that's a swing. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Jackson just getting better and better as things go on. His high strikeout games this year, he's been 9 twice. The complete game April 14th here against Cincinnati. And then the day game in a 4-0 loss against the Braves in the first game of that day-night doubleheader a long time ago. But he's got 8 tonight. Ruben Tejada 0 for 2. He's hit 2 balls to short. He and Desmond booted the last one on a backhand attempt.
I'm telling you, buddy, he is throwing that baseball just awesome.
Defensive swing on a Tejada emergency hack. The only man with a hit for the Mets is Mike Baxter. He's next. Target in. Just a little bit foul.
That was a little fastball that he ran in there that was 3 or 4 inches off the plate. And he's just spotting the ball. He's throwing that thing through a keyhole tonight. 0-2. Just bounce the breaking ball. Bounce the breaking ball once again. I mean, these guys have chased it all night long. We've had about 7 swings on that ball going down toward the plate.
There it goes. And that one didn't bounce. Flores actually caught it on a fly. And Edwin Jackson, in only the 6th inning, has tied his season high with 9 strikeouts.
Well, they have no chance. This thing is so tight. You look at the torque, look at the spin on that ball. Tremendous spin, rotation, working downward, and they're losing the ball about right there, and then it goes underneath the bottom of their bat. I'm talking about 6, 7, 8 inches they're missing the ball. Great isn't strong enough a word. Superb breaking ball tonight. Great location. Mixing up his pitches as well as you can mix them up.
Want to know to Mike Baxter. After the first inning triple, a swinging strikeout to end the 3rd.
See that pitch right there? I think he gave up on that pitch. That pitch looked like it was a strike to me.
Falls behind 2-0 a couple of times tonight.
Comes back with a breaking ball strike.
Yeah, he's just been in command.
1 ball, hit hard all night long. Baxter's triple on a 1-2 fastball up around his chest.
His career high in strikeouts, by the way, is 13. That was in April of last year while pitching for the White Sox against Tampa Bay. And he has equaled his Nationals season high. And a 2-ball, 2-strike count. Baxter just able to get a piece of it.
And his best fastball on the evening, 95 miles an hour on his 87th pitch. You saw those numbers before where first time, second time, third time around, each number got better and better. That tells you when a guy has stuff, because they should get worse because guys see him the third time through the order.
That's a swing and a miss. Strikeout number 10 for Edwin Jackson in 6 innings tonight. He is having an amazing game. Can his buddies get him a run or two now? Who but W.B. Mason? They're waiting for something to land out there in the red seats. The Nats had settled for 2 or 3 hits together here in the bottom of the 6th inning. And now that Third Eye Blind will be performing tonight, it's time to start thinking about September 22nd and Dierks Bentley. That's a 1 o'clock game against the Brewers, and he'll be here after the ball game. Free concert. Tickets start at $10. Go to nationals.com/tickets. Must have a game ticket to listen to Dierks when the game is over. Danny Espinosa, 1 for 2, the base hit to left in the first, swinging strikeout in the third.
Well, that's 3 hitters in a row. Other than the pitcher, he started with a curveball.
1 ball and 1 strike. They got Espinosa 0-2 last time and fanned him.
Well, you remember he overswung at the one good pitch he had to hit.
There's that side door breaking ball he's been throwing to the right-handers.
That thing will go a long way, though. It looks a little loopy to me. He's been able to get it down enough in the strike zone, but if he makes one mistake with that thing, it's built-in elevation.
Orsolani throwing, which is interesting. Edwin's thrown 88 pitches in 6 innings. He's gone at least 6 for the 14th time this year. You know, it's not easy to pitch 6 innings with 88 pitches when you have 10 strikeouts.
Well, that's really impressive, Bob. There hasn't been a more impressive outing this year than this one.
Tapper, third base line, looks like a hit. Nice will not be able to pick it up. And Danny Espinosa's 2 for 3. I think even if the pitcher fields that cleanly,
he had no chance.
No shot.
He tries to throw a sinker away. He gets it there. Danny just barely gets a piece of it. Tops it down the third base line. The only chance you've got is to let that thing go and hope it rolls foul.
Yeah, wise decision to shut it down and not try to make a throw. So now, with the lead run on base, Zimmerman and Morse, the next 2 hitters.
Well, let's see if he starts Ryan off with that hook. I mean, if I'm a hitter, as many breaking balls as I've seen him throw, I would sit on the hook right here first pitch. I'm not going to swing at anything else, but I would move up in the box a little bit, try to disguise that, sit on that curveball, and try to drill it into that left center field gap.
Zimmerman not that deep in the box right now.
Fastball.
They went 88, got a strike away.
Not his best fastball, just kind of turned that thing over.
A lot of hitting room right side. That ball fading out there. Might remember last time up. Knees through the ball, that breaking ball well off the plate outside. Zimmerman tried to swing at it. And then he looked back to Marvin Hudson asking him if it was a strike. We're not sure what answer he got, but it might not have been. That ball is drilled to right center. It'll play for Torres. That's a second ball tonight that has looked great off the bat, but Jonathan Nice has just enough late movement to get routine outs by Morse back in the first and Zimmerman right there. So the Nats box has Espinosa with singles in the first and the sixth. Zimmerman a first inning base hit. Fourth inning double by LaRoche off the glove of the left fielder Valdespin. And then Jesus Flores the clean single up the middle last inning. Neither pitcher has walked anybody. So one swing might be the deciding factor tonight. And here's a guy who can do that. Michael saw a pitch up. He was pumping. 90 fading away from him. Good news from Atlanta. The Dodgers have just put 3 more runs on the board in the top of the sixth. They lead the Braves 6-1. Morse jammed and he fouls it.
That's twice that he's chased way inside. That's one thing that has amazed me about Michael Morris over the course of these last 2 years. He has a weakness inside. He has a weakness in and off the plate, but he's been so disciplined that he has not chased that ball. He works the count as well as anybody, gets the ball generally out away from him. Has learned to really inside out the ball on the inside part of the plate to drive the ball hard to right center field.
Game hitting streak on the line tonight. And a 1-2. He's going to be called out on a pitch that he thought was up and away. It was very similar to ball one.
Yeah, he had him thinking right there. He had his mind turned a little bit around as that ball was outside. Michael saw it correctly. You see, he looks like he's looking away. Not a good call there. Expanding the strike zone. Hasn't done that tonight. The umpire has been exceptionally good. Marvin Hudson on pitches. I thought he's called a heck of a ball game.
Bringing the heat and the flavor right there in the Cholula hot sauce pitch track. 2 outs. It's up to Adam LaRoche now. Left-handed pitcher looking right at Danny Espinosa. And then with the shift on, the shortstop only has to go about 10 feet to the bag. Ruben Tejada. In case of a throw to second on an attempted steal. But at times this year, Adam LaRoche hasn't needed a guy to get to second base to be in scoring position. When he was going so well first couple of months of the season, he was wearing out left-handers. He's 4 for 14 career against this one. Two and one.
Nothing but breaking balls. Yeah, when Adam's going well, he's in scoring position at the plate.
Target in. Or maybe just a signal to throw over.
Yeah, I don't want to fool with him much inside. He's as quick as anybody inside part of the play.
Runner going, and LaRoche fouls it back. Danny had a pretty good jump. Not easy to do against a lefty.
Well, he's continued to get a little bigger lead, kind of a one-way lead where he comes off the back, stretches the lead, gets it as far as he can, thinking about going back to first base on the first move, trying to gauge his move. Then when he learns as much as he can, takes off on the first move.
Two. LaRoche hits it hard, and what a pick. Ike Davis inning over. Just moving off the bag with the runner, and the ball hit to the glove side of the left-handed first baseman. Outstanding. At Cox.com. Game summary, it's all about the pitching, but we've got to choose something to put in that third lineup on top. So we go with the Nats 13 games over 500 against the division. Story of this night is Jackson and Jonathan Neese.
Well, they've both been exceptional. Jonathan Neese, 6 strikeouts, 5 hits, no walks, moving the curveball, fastball, cutter. And then Edwin just dominating with his slider, getting ahead with his fastball, taking people out with the slider. Just 10 strikeouts already tonight in a dominant performance.
David Wright, Ike Davis, and Daniel Murphy in the 7th for the Mets. So they're 3, 4, 5 guys. David Wright tonight, ground ball to third, swinging strikeout. Jackson gets the call on the outside corner. David Wright, career 2 for 10 against the Nats right-hander. He knows if it gets to 0-2, he's got a problem. That's inside, because you're probably going to see that hammer. And so that pitch, Wright gets back even, but this one just as important to get it to 1-2 if you're Edwin Jackson. Wow. Right at the knees, ball 2.
That was a good pitch also. Now, I'm not begging up here. I don't even like to make comments about umpires. But that was a pretty good pitch.
Now it's 3-1.
Don't let that pitch upset you, big boy. That's the first time I've seen him have a reaction. Maybe because he torqued that breaking ball too much, but he certainly wanted that 1-1 pitch. Don't give in to him.
Rather walk him than give up a blast. And that'll be way up and in. That looked like a backup breaking ball that totally got away from him. Maybe a changeup. And that's the first walk by either pitcher tonight.
Now that was a curveball that didn't, or a slider that didn't break. And he actually, that's the first hitter that he has not thrown a good breaking ball to. He's actually on his 93rd pitch. So,
and Ike Davis has more home runs on the road than any hitter in the National League as we go inside the numbers with SunTrust. So two of the road warriors right there.
David Wright will run.
He has stolen 12 bases this year, but he's been caught 9 times. That's not his usual success rate. And a ball driven to left. And that is going to be another home run on the road for Ike Davis. Worst possible combination for a pitcher, a walk and a homer, and the Mets lead 2-0.
Fastball out away from him, moving to the outside part of the plate, doesn't quite get out there enough. Ike Davis drills the ball the other way. Not a bad pitch. I mean, for a guy to hit the ball that way, you got to tip your hat to him. Just a little too much up in the strike zone, which allowed him to elevate it.
Boy, it's almost as if when Edwin did not get that 1-1 pitch to David Wright.
I felt something different.
Something changed. So here's Daniel Murphy, who was struck out and grounded out. That's only the Mets' second hit of the night. And LaRoche to his right will grab that one perfectly to Jackson covering for the first out here in the 7th. Edwin, by the way, due to bat 4th in the bottom of this inning.
But you know, Bob, you paint all night long. I mean, you put together a game where everything you throw is a strike or near the strike zone. So you would think the umpire is thinking strikes, and he throws a pitch that was right there, and he didn't get the call. So it's just human nature to react a little bit. He got him out of his game. I mean, he is into his 95th, 96th pitch, and that's a lot of work. And the hitters have faced him now their 3rd time around the order.
Jordany Valdez-Speen, couple of ground balls to the right side, one to Espinoza, one to LaRoche. That's on the outside corner, and the count's even. 1-1. Another chopper. 3rd time he's hit it to that side of the infield. Danny Espinoza takes care of it. 2 outs. With Andres Torres coming up here in the 7th. Edwin trying to go at least 7 for the 9th time this year. That was his 19th home run given up. Torres has struck out swinging twice. The Braves just failed to score, bottom of the 6th, so that game in Atlanta. Moving into the top of the 7th, Dodgers 6, Atlanta 1. Target is in. Still got some giddy up, 94 on that fastball as he has crossed the 100 pitch threshold.
That shows you how tough this game is at this level. A guy's going out there, he throws 90, 95 pitches, 90 of them, 88 of them almost perfect. One mistake and some guy hits a bomb.
That's on the inside corner. So Edwin will have a new Nats high of 11 strikeouts. And let's hope it gets down to the spot where they can hit for him in the 7th. Or visit your local Dodge dealer. And by Burger King. Come play family food where every game piece has a prize. It's a beautiful night in D.C. Nats hoping to make it a little bit better with some offense now. The Mets are on top 2-0. Jonathan Neese pitching one of the best games of his career this evening. And Edwin Jackson, 103 pitches, 69 strikes. Will it be a sweep game or a rubber game? Jeremy Hefner goes for the Mets tomorrow. He comes out of the bullpen. The rookie's 2-4 with a 4.76 ERA. And Gio Gonzalez will be going for number 16 with that 3.29 earned run average. Nats Extra, 1 o'clock. Ray and I join you from the booth at 12:50. No, 1:26. There we go. 1:26 from the booth, and then first pitch at around 35 or so. Hefner and Gonzalez tomorrow. Ryan Matthews is up for the 8th inning. Ian Desmond leads off. Jonathan Neese throws a strike on his 95th pitch of the night. Most pitches he's thrown this year in a ball game, 118. So he might have plenty left in the tank now that he's got a lead. Desmond has to step out just to slow things down here. Ooh, that's close.
It sure was. Just a tad outside.
2-2 pitch now. Moore waiting, Desmond battling. Desmond gets it by the mound, but it's a nice big hop for the shortstop, Tejada. And Ian Desmond is 0 for 7 in his return from the DL. Don't forget about the Baltimore Grand Prix, 180-mile-per-hour Festival of Speed, August 31st to the 2nd of September. Tickets are on sale for the Grand Prix of Baltimore, presented by SRT. Visit raceonbaltimore.com. Oh for 2 is Tyler Moore. By the way, an amazing crowd figure here tonight. The second highest paid total in the history of the ballpark, 42,662.
How about that?
That's about 800 over the capacity listed for this ballpark. Nats Park listed at 41,888. 9th sellout and the second largest paid crowd ever. Congrats. Now they want to see some runs that they paid to come and see. Tyler Moore, and he's going to be called out. Breaking ball right on the corner. You would think that you'd have to attack this guy early in the count. I mean, that's nowhere near being a strike, but he's getting every call from Marvin Hudson now.
Well, the second pitch he didn't get, and it was a better pitch than that one.
That's true.
So that strike zone is beginning to jump around a little bit.
Well, the Nats need to get into the Mets bullpen, which has been pretty bad this season. That's up and away to Jesus Flores. Bryce Harper to hit for Jackson. If the inning goes that far, David Wright will prevent that as he makes a throw good enough after a fantastic glove play. Jonathan Neese is having a career night, getting some help from David Wright, who's been a Gold Glover in the past. And let's have a look at our Cholula Hot Sauce pitching recap, bringing the heat and the flavor.
94 miles an hour to Torres in the second. Then 94 to Davis in the fourth. Some serious gas as Edwin Jackson pitched a heck of a ball game. 7 innings, just 2 runs, 11 punch outs. Gosh.
103 pitches, 69 strikes. Michael Morse goes to left with Bryce Harper on the double switch, batting ninth and playing center, shifting Jason Worth to right. So in the eighth, it'll be Harper, Worth, and Espinoza, your due-ups. And Ryan Matthews will take over in his 46th appearance now. The ERA just above 2.5, 46 innings, 26 strikeouts, 13 walks. He's had the hard sinker working lately. Opponents only hitting .235 against him. And as Bobby Parnell continues to throw, you can only be hopeful the Nats will get into the Mets bullpen in the 8th inning. Josh Tolle, the hitter. And when Ryan's going well, guys are chopping the ball straight down.
Yeah, Bobby, and when a guy threw as well as Neese has thrown, when you're a national, you don't care who they bring in.
And now John Roush replaces Bobby Parnell.
Anybody's better than having to face that stuff that he was putting out there tonight.
Well, he's thrown 104 pitches and could be done.
I would think because Roush is heating up pretty rapidly that we'll find out pretty quickly because he's the second hitter. He could also, if he gets on, bunt him over and leave him in the ball game, but
and sometimes if a guy gets on, they'll leave the pitcher in to bunt and then replace him.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. But as you've mentioned, and I went down, that he has gone to that 115 number 3 different times, 113, 114, 115, 117, as you mentioned.
Yeah.
4 different times this year, so he's not in uncharted waters. With their bullpen struggling as much as it has, I would have asked him, hey, what do you got left? And if he told me that he had something left, I'd stick him right back out there.
This game's yours, buddy.
Yes, sir.
You've earned it. 1 ball and 2 strikes from Matthews to Tolley. That'll bounce. Braves are batting bottom of the 7th at home. 1 out, nobody on base. Michael Bourne hitting. And the Dodgers still lead 6-1. Lately, seems like the Nats and the Braves almost mirror each other. Pretty much win on the same days, sometimes, and not often, lose on the same days. That ball drilled to the right side. Danny Espinosa to his left. First out. Top of the 8th, and Jonathan Neese will be the hitter. Outstanding.
Well, every position you look at on the Nationals infield, you've got a gold glove type player. And there would be no disgrace if any of these guys were gold glove winners. Desi's had a great year. 2nd year in a row that Espy has put up tremendous numbers, great range. You know what LaRoche does, and Zim has to win the gold glove. I don't think disgrace is the right word. It wouldn't be a surprise.
Yeah. I think Danny Espinosa over the next year or 2 will start challenging that guy in Cincinnati who has kind of become the incumbent at second base.
Yeah,
Brandon Phillips is very good.
He is.
Doesn't make that many errors. Danny Espinosa doesn't call nearly as much attention to himself as Brandon Phillips does. And had Danny not moved to shortstop for a couple of weeks, he'd have a lot fewer errors than the 11 he has right now. A reminder, as the season wanes on, special pricing now for MLB.TV. Check it out. That'll be strikeout number 1 for Ryan Matthews. 2 outs here in the 8th.
Sinker away on the corner. A lot of pitches thrown to good spots tonight, both sides.
Man, how about $37 times 12 to the National Institutes of Health?
That's sweet.
The Children's Inn gets $37 for every strikeout, thanks to the Washington area Toyota dealers. So that's a tremendous help to children receiving medical treatment with their families at NIH. Top of the order, Ruben Tejada. 0 for 3 tonight against Edwin Jackson. The other thing that Terry Collins might be doing with John Roush is leaving Neeson, the lefty, to face Bryce Harper. And then no matter what happens, coming with a right-hander against Worth. Because Bryce Harper can't tie the game, but Jason Worth could.
Yes, and the fact that he didn't set him down, that's exactly what he's thinking, because he's looking at Worth and then Espinosa, who they think is better from the right side. And then you've got Zim, Morse. So that's exactly what he's doing.
Right side, good inning for Ryan Matthews. Espinosa scoops it. And a 1-2-3 gets the Nats right back into the dugout. Bryce Harper in a moment scheduled to lead off. Harper will lead off, then Worth and Espinoza. And every time an ad hits a home run, and we're waiting for one tonight, it's $200 more to the Children's National Medical Center, thanks to our Washington area Lexus dealers. And that was some blast this kid hit last night.
Yeah, Bryce got into one. He knew it right away. Fastball, middle, down, line drive, rocket right out of here. Sprinting around those bases.
Now, the other option Terry Collins has here, if Nice retires Bryce Harper, he could leave Nice in to face Worth and Espinoza.
Well, he always has that option.
I mean, the way this guy's pitching, 105 pitches, 69 strikes. Harper a swing and a foul off to the left side, 1-1. So Bryce Harper, whether or not he gets on base, dictates what happens this inning. That's a breaking ball that rolls right in there, 1-2.
Well, that's the toughest kind that starts up and you give up on it thinking that it's going to be high. It appears to be high. It's at chest level, and then it breaks late.
Man, he is throwing some great pitches on 2 strike counts tonight. Harper 1 for 3 career against Nice, and he goes center field. That will easily play for Andres Torres. So Jonathan Nice might have bought himself a ticket for the rest of the night.
No.
But now that he retires him, here comes Terry Collins. So it's the option B that we talked about. He wanted him facing the left-hander. And tonight's copyrighted telecast, presented by authority of the Washington Nationals, and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Washington Nationals. And right now, if you're a Nats fan, I would say, Terry Collins, thank you very much. He struck out 7. This call to the bullpen packaged by the UPS store. We love logistics. John Roush, obviously no easy task himself. Roush has a 3.12 ERA. He's thrown the ball pretty well against the Nats this year. He's got 3 saves, the most recently coming at Cincinnati. Roush, of course, a longtime member of this organization from 04 in Montreal into the trading deadline time of 08 when the Nats traded him on to Arizona.
Great competitor, good fastball, curveball.
So here's Worth. By the way, when the Nats traded him to the Diamondbacks, Mike Rizzo was still out there at that time. They got some kid named Emilio Bonifacio in that deal. Worth against Roush, career 0 for 3.
Well, this is where it has to be a perfect pitch for you swing the bat. Got to get on base right here. 1 out. Find a way to get on base. Yes, sir, with the big boys coming up next.
2-1 to Worth. Pretty big cut on 92 upstairs. Danny Espinosa would switch around, hit left-handed in a moment. And Worth out to left center. Covering the ground is Valdespine. We saw him play some bad defense at shortstop in this ballpark earlier this year, and he doesn't look real comfortable in left field either. Ball stayed in the yard, and he grabbed it.
He threw him a slider, and it just stayed there. Jason all over that thing. Didn't get it airborne too much. More of a line drive, and Valdespine, as you said, kind of stumbles and bumbles, catches it backing up.
Josh Edgin is their only lefty, and they're getting him warm for Adam LaRoche. Let's hope that's this inning. He's still 3 hitters away. Right-handers after Espinosa. David Wright on the edge of the grass. He is toes to the grass in the baseline between second and third.
Yeah, you have to take the bunt away here. Everybody else straight away.
Serious gas. 0-2.
Danny's gotten better at laying off of that pitch. Belt high and above. That has been his weakness. It's just a pitch that left-handed he doesn't handle. Deadly on the pitch down.
And then they show him the fastball up and away. Braves just went out in the bottom of the 7th. So after 7, Dodgers 6-1 at Atlanta, and that's getting help tonight. No matter what happens here, down to their final 4 outs. Anybody gets on base, the tying run gets into the batter's box. So the thing about the Mets here in these last 2 innings, if Zimmerman doesn't bat this inning, they still have to work through 3, 4, 5, and 6 at some point. Maybe 6.
How did that ball not hit him?
You know, Danny gets hit by a lot of pitches, but he does an amazing job of getting out of the way of some, too.
There's nothing wrong by going ahead and getting hit by that one. He tried to do it. He tried to stay there. If he hadn't moved that back foot, he would have.
He's been hit 11 times this year and probably dodged 5 or 6 others. 2-2 pitch. That's a full count.
Just need to build an inning, get a 1 runner on, and as has happened so often this year, the boys wake up and start hitting the ball all over the ball yard.
3-2, well hit, but right side, right to Ike Davis. And the Nats go in order. Mets pitching, shutting down a hot Washington offense tonight. And when the Braves come in on Monday, the Nats will see some pitching as well. Monday night, Tim Hudson, 12-5. Tuesday night, Paul Mahalam, 11-7. And then Wednesday night, Chris Medlin, 4-1. Get your tickets right now. The ballpark will be pretty close to full for a postseason implicating 3-game series with the Atlanta Braves starting on Monday night. Ryan Matthews still in there. Probably because of David Wright on deck. He'll take his chances against Baxter. And then the Nats could come with Michael Gonzalez against Ike Davis. First inning triple from Matthews, or rather Baxter tonight against Matthews. Frank Francisco has 19 saves as the Mets closer. That's going to punch him out. Ryan Matthews' second strikeout, 4 in a row for him, with David Wright coming in.
Sets up inside, drills it right there. Inside part, right at the bottom of the knees. That's what you call a perfect pitch.
Seen a lot of those tonight.
We have.
On both sides. David Wright tonight, 0 for 2 before that damaging walk in the 7th. Leading off, and then Ike Davis hit the ball out of the park. David Wright against Ryan Matthews, 0 for 3 career. And some high heat upstairs. Ryan doesn't live upstairs a whole lot. But when he throws the high fastball, sometimes it has a little bit of action up there, too.
Well, he throws at 94. They look down so much for that sinker that I believe that he could throw up there, but you've got to make sure that it's above the letters. He can't live around the waist.
That's on the inside corner, freezing him. And now we'll see if the Nats go ahead and make the move. Unless they love the way Matthews is throwing. Now Davies on the way. And there's the Cholula pitch track, Ray, on a perfect front door breaking ball.
Yes. Again, perfectly placed. As you said, we've seen a lot of those. Davey going out there, he said, "You're throwing so good, I don't want to take you out of here, but I'm going to give my left-hander a chance because he's loose." And got him hot.
And the way Ike Davis is swinging, you better have a lefty ready for him. Like we promised early in the game, Miller time brought to you by Miller Lite, and a very defining moment with him batting 2 innings ago.
Yes, sir. Fastball out away from him, drives it the opposite way right into the corner of the bullpen to account for the 2 runs that's on the board tonight.
This man is hitting the heaviest .218 in Major League Baseball. 22 homers and 67 RBIs. Michael Gonzalez gets ahead of him. Ike Davis is 1 for 1. Guess what? With a home run against Michael Gonzalez, and I remember that. It was a first pitch homer when Michael faced him here last month. And I'm sure Gonzalez remembered that. Didn't want to throw the ball right down the middle on the first pitch.
Well, Ike Davis is so geared for the fastball. He's got that little hitch in his swing. If you can throw him anything that spins, that goes down and away from him and doesn't helicopter in there, you got a good chance to get him out. He's a dead fastball hitter, whether you're right or left-handed. He just gets that thing started, and it was funny, prior to the home run he hit, Jax had him all messed up.
A little bit outside. Gonzalez thought he had him struck out. Actually, Davis did hit a homer on the last homestand here, actually the last time the Nats played the Mets. But the one he got Gonzalez on was at Citi Field because he pulled it right down the line. Nats got things settled down, won that game. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Davis, 1 for 3 tonight.
Throw him the breaking ball right here.
And a 2-2. Popped up to left. Can Desmond get there? No, he can't. And Ike Davis continues to get base hits. On the road. He's at first with 2 outs.
Well, he did throw him the breaking ball, and he beat him. But he just...
Daniel Murphy's 0 for 3. Yeah, when that guy's on deck, you need to have a right-hander ready, but the Nats will stay with Gonzalez here. Scott Hairston, murder against lefties this season. And a 1-1 pitch. That's in there. On the move is the runner. That's a swing and a miss, and the top of the 9th is over. So the Nats have Ryan Zimmerman coming up, followed by Michael Morse and Adam LaRoche, down by 2. right-hander, but right now he's the Mets closer. And the Nats have their hands full. Byron and Phil are in the house. They're in the booth. It's our Nats Extra postgame show presented by W.B. Mason. When the ball game's over, evidently Third Eye Blind did not want them singing Harmony after the game, so they'll be up here. And let's take a little trip down memory lane. 86 World Series, Ray Knight goes just short of the bleachers. Number 22, here's the famous Mookie Wilson ground ball. And who would score from third on that play? Actually from second, right?
I know that guy pretty well. About 30 pounds and 30 years.
Very nice. That, of course, was Game 6. Then you guys took care of business the next night. Jason Bay will play left field for the Mets. And this crowd is alive as Frank Francisco comes in to try to save it. And if a crowd can will you to a rally, that's what this big house of 42,662 is trying to do tonight.
Well, Francisco's given up a lot of hits. He can get wild in a hurry. I've watched him this year, and he has a tough time sometimes getting that big body in sync.
Well, Zimmerman's 1 for 1 against him. Morse is 0 for 2. And LaRoche is 0 for 1 against him career. That's low.
Yeah, he has a tendency when he gets wild, he does not find the strike zone. And he can get wild with the best of them.
36 strikeouts, 18 walks in 32 innings. And the league hitting .292 against him. But he's given up 40 hits in those 32 innings, as Ray said, can be hittable. 1 ball, 1 strike. Ryan Zimmerman 1 for 3 tonight. Inside, 2-1. He does not get the call near the outside edge. Ball 3. Nats will take a base runner any way they can get one. They haven't had one since Danny Espinosa hit that little single leading off the bottom of the 6th. On a pitch up, Zimmerman was pumping right at the ceiling of the strike zone. Pretty good location with that fastball. Francisco 25 saves 3 years ago with Texas, 17 last year with Toronto. Kind of interesting. Francisco Rodriguez long gone. Frank Francisco now trying to nail things down for the Mets. He has 19 saves. He's blown 3 this year. That ball is well struck to right, and it is caught in front of the wall by Mike Baxter. We told you earlier about the Mets defense. They're trying to play their 8th consecutive game without making an error. That was outstanding.
Well, I think that he's playing way too deep right there. A ball is going to hit off the wall. You don't find outfielders that catch this ball right there unless they're playing deep. That shows you how much they respect Ryan's power, but that ball was a double all the way. Baxter playing it very deep, almost in a no-double situation right now. That's as deep as I have seen a right fielder play all year long. And he's back there again.
Breaking ball in there to Michael Morse. 0 for 2 against Francisco.
Yeah, can't be chasing this one up there. Not going to do much with that one. Francisco likes to go up there with 2 strikes.
And the 0-2 now. That'll be a little bit tight. It's the bottom of the 8th in Atlanta. The Braves have 2 on, 2 out. They're trailing the Dodgers 6-1. We're 1 inning ahead of them here in D.C. And the Nats are trying to avoid their 5th shutout of the year. Morse strikes out, 2 down. Leaves it up to Adam LaRoche with Ian Desmond on deck. LaRoche 1 for 3 tonight, and in his career 0 for 1 against Frank Francisco.
And you'll see David Wright stay at home here because you can't afford to allow LaRoche to lay down a bunt and just walk over there. We've seen him do it one time this year, but Wright respecting that. Now he's moving out there. Shoot, if I'm hitting right here, I square up, just drop the ball down the third baseline, walk to first base, and give somebody a chance to hit a 2-run bomb.
That ball diving down and away, and that takes the bunt out of the equation. And the Nats, who've won 21 of their last 27 games, are down to their final strike. Look at that action.
Splitter. Split finger that just goes straight down. You can't tell because it's got the great arm action like a fastball.
LaRoche, a bouncing ball. The Nats go quietly into the night. Unbelievable pitching by the New York Mets this evening. And that'll set up a rubber game as they shut out the Nationals 2-0 behind Jonathan Neese, who pitched 7 1/3 as well as anybody has pitched our ball club this year. For Ray and Christina, Bob Carpenter. Join us tomorrow for the series finale against the Mets. It'll be a rubber game. We'll get you going with Nats Extra 1 o'clock. This has been a Masson presentation. Nats Extra brought to you by W.B. Mason. Straight ahead from the booth. So long for just a while.